there are Olympians in the room. Maybe it's Jasmine Quinn from Fort Dorchester, we hope, possibly. We hope there are other, first-round draft picks in the room other than, Nick Shufo, who just signed for almost $2 million Friday in Tampa Bay. 18 years old, signs for $2 million. He must be able to play baseball very well, wouldn't you agree? 21st pick of the first round. Would be here, but he signed Friday. So there's a lot of positive in this world. We turn on the CNN news and we see negative things happening throughout our world. Today at Seawells, this is a very positive moment. It's an opportunity for us to honor the hard work of so many, and we're thankful to have you here. Ron Smith is a native of Indiana, and he got drafted to play the game of baseball. Some scout somewhere a few years ago thought he had the potential of being maybe the next Mickey Mantle, and he got all the way to AAA. How about this? Got all the way to AAA. Now get this, he goes to Furman University, where he plays, and then after he plays, eventually he becomes the coach, and for 20 seasons now, he's been the head coach at Furman University. I would ask that you take time to read his story. There's no need to have me recite all of his accomplishments, but Furman is a program on the move. They are recruiting a lot of players in state, and I don't mind telling you this, if you are a senior right now, baseball player, looking to walk on or think that you've been undermarketed, it is perfectly legal to talk to Mr. Smith. If you happen to be an underclassman, it is not technically legal to talk to him. Now, after he gets through talking, he will appear down here in the corner where we will also take group pictures after you get your t-shirt. And Daniel Rump, wave your hand, Daniel. He's the guy with the real bad hair issue, needs a haircut, in the corner. He takes pictures for us and does an outstanding job. We're going to take pictures of the groups, and all the pictures will be online at hssr.com. You're welcome to download them, print them, blow them up. No copyright whatsoever. Knock yourself out, okay? They'll be online probably about Wednesday. If you wanted a special shot after the banquet, that's between you and Daniel. Be fine, okay? All right, so at this time, Furman University, who had a 32-25 record this year, a program on the move, 20-year head coach at Furman University. Let's welcome to the podium Mr. Ron Smith.
Thank you. Daniel, could you step up here a minute? I happen to like your hair. Would you agree? I mean, I love his hair. He's got good hair. Yeah, I like that. It is a singular honor to be here this evening and speak to some of the best and brightest student athletes in the state of South Carolina. It is absolutely my pleasure. And I'm going to address most of my remarks to the student athletes. I'm going to ask, first of all, how many of you, and many of you have been successful, how many of you would want to continue to be successful? Let me see a show of hands. Those of you who want to, big response, come on. How many of you want to be successful, all right? What is your definition of success? What do you think success is? I'm going to take from, I think, the best coach who has ever lived. His name is Johnny Wooden, coached for 17 years at UCLA, won 10 national championships in basketball, 7 in a row. He is the epitome of teacher, coach, philosopher. Coach Wooden said that success is the self-satisfaction of knowing you've done your very best. The self-satisfaction of knowing you've done your very best. You need no one to give you a trophy, to pat you on the back. If you are true to yourself, at the end of the day, when you are looking yourself in the mirror, and I know that all of you look at yourselves in the mirror a lot at that age, and you kind of go, hey, looking good tonight. If you can honestly say to yourself, you've done your best today. You've done your best, regardless of the endeavor, then you, in fact, have been successful. And you can feel successful. If there's one thing that I can leave with you, it is that. The self-satisfaction of doing your very best. Now, if you are honest with yourselves, do you do your best in school every day? Come on. Raise your hand if you do your best. Now, if everybody raises their hand now, come on. Everything you do, every job you do has your signature on it. Sign it with pride. Sign it with pride. You did that. There are 3 keys to being successful, in my opinion. The first key is to set goals. You've got to know where you're going. Think about what you want to accomplish. Short-term goals, long-term goals. These goals should not only include things that you do publicly, but within your family. Maybe you should go a couple weeks without having a fight with your mom or your sister. Things like that. Improve your grades, make the honor roll, straight A's, whatever you're capable of. Long-term goals, whatever career goals you have. Set goals. The second key to being successful is to work on a daily basis, especially when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the real successful people from those who are not. Work on a daily basis. Small incremental steps add up to something big. Success is not going to happen overnight. A little bit better every day. The third key to being successful is to be resilient. Be resilient, to bounce back. Successful people fail. Successful people trip and fall, but they get back up. Thomas Edison, 2,000 tries before he came up with the right materials to come up with the light bulb. Abraham Lincoln, defeated 7 times in various elections at the local, state, and national level before he was elected president. Ray Kroc. Anybody know who Ray Kroc is? Everybody's eating at his restaurant. You know who it is now? McDonald's. He started McDonald's. Failed in 3 previous attempts at two in the business world and 1 other restaurant. Now his grandparents or his grandchildren are very happy that he continued and that he was resilient. Successful people fail. They get back up. They keep battling. They keep working. It's what you have to do. Many of you are thinking about choosing a college. And I've been watching this process for 20 years. And I think there are several important factors that you should consider. 1, find a place that meets your needs academically. It should be your first and foremost consideration. 2, find a place where you think you would be happy, you feel comfortable without whatever sport you're going there to play. Take the sport out of it. Would you be happy there without that sport? And then 3, and I think this is really important, and that's the athletic part of it. I think there are a number of factors there. 1, and the most important thing, when do you want to play? Do you want to play right away? Then that might eliminate certain schools. Be honest with yourself. Look at rosters. 2, I think the coaching staff is very important. You got to feel comfortable with them. Nobody wants to get your butts kicked all the time, so find a place where you got a chance to win, and you can be a part of a winning program. I think also the other players that are on the team, it's important. Are they the kind of people you want to be around? So really 3 things I think you should look at. Does it provide the education you want? Would you be happy without, for example, in my position, baseball? And then the athletic component, there are several issues there you need to think about. We look at several things, and I think most coaches are this way, when we're finding players to come to our school. We go watch guys play. The one thing that stands out, one way or the other, if a guy hustles or not. We're not going to recruit a guy that doesn't hustle. I'll tell you a really brief story. Beginning of my career, I went to watch a young man, and he was a good player. Been recruiting him. Got to know him quite well, knew his family, knew his girlfriend. Everything was going well. I mean, this guy was good. Watching him in a Legion game, just about ready to make an offer. He comes up. He'd had a tough day. He came up in the 9th inning with tying run at second base. There was 1 out. He struck out. No problem. I wasn't there to evaluate. I was just there to show him some love. Well, I watched him. I watched him very carefully. He came back to the dugout, dragged his bat, head down, never looked up. Went to the end of the dugout, sat down. The next guy's up. There's 2 outs. Tying run still at second base. Game's not over. He never looked up. He never looked up. I quit recruiting him that night. He went to North Carolina. He was a good player. Lasted 1 year. I wasn't surprised. I want guys who can go 0 for 3, and that 4th time they come up, man, you still want them up there because they're tough. They're resilient. Coaches watch people who hustle. We obviously evaluate tools, the physical tools that you have. And then those other things are just as important. In baseball, there are 5 tools: the ability to hit with power, run, throw, and field. What you have here and what you have here is equally as important as those other tools. We talk to coaches. What kind of person is this guy? Does he show up? Is he on time? Is he a good teammate? Does he try to get better? Is he coachable? And then obviously we talk about grades. Got to find out about grades. I don't know how many underclassmen we have here today, but I implore you, work at school, study. You want to open as many doors as you possibly can as you're making a choice in school. Don't let some nerd in the admissions office say you can't come to the school you want to go to because you hadn't put enough effort into your studies. Isn't that a shame? I hate it when we see a guy that we'd love to have come to Furman, we can't get him in school. I hate that. And I know it's lack of effort. They could do it. So if you're an underclassman particularly, work at it. It's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I have 4 goals for the players who come to Furman. 1 is that you graduate and you graduate on time. I've been here 20 years. Every player has graduated. All but 2 have graduated on time. There are a number of reasons for that, but I'm very proud of that. The second goal that we have is we want our players to develop as people. In 2 words, we want them to grow up. Think beyond themselves. Take responsibility for their actions. Be a part of the community. Do things for others without expecting something in return. The third goal, we want our players to get better. We want them to improve every day. And we've got a great track record for that happening. The last goal, we want to wear championship rings. We want to wear championship rings. As I tell guys, not a wedding ring, although we do have 60% girls at Furman, by the way. Because you are a student athlete, and obviously an outstanding student athlete, you are well known in your school. Many of you are seniors or rising seniors. You have a responsibility to set a good example for others, in my opinion, to provide positive leadership at your school. You can make it special. People look up to you. You may not realize it, but there's a little guy or a little gal that comes to those games And man, they think you walk on water. They see you in that uniform and they want to be in your place someday. Realize that. It's a big responsibility. A big responsibility. Finally, I think it's very important that each of you stop and think how very fortunate you are to be gifted athletically. It's a gift. It's your responsibility to do the best you can with that gift. And I also hope that you will show appreciation to those who have helped you achieve the things that you have achieved. Your parents. Don't be afraid to say thanks once in a while. Tell your mom you love her every day. Don't be afraid to let coaches know. You know, coaches get into it and you don't get paid much. You do it because you love to be a part of helping young men and women develop as people. But boy, the best days of my life are when I get an email or a phone call from one of my former players. Show appreciation to other people. Very quickly, a couple of maxims that I think are appropriate. And again, these come from Johnny Wooden. And I just want to recommend a book. I give this book to all of my players who graduate. And it's a book by Johnny Wooden. It's called Reflections in Life and on the Basketball Court. A Lifetime of Reflections. Johnny Wooden. Great book. Homespun wisdom. I highly recommend it for anyone to read. It is actually in our coaches' locker room in our stall. But it's good reading, you know. So, talent, here's one of them. Talent is God-given. Be humble. Fame is man-given. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given. Be careful. A lot of you, well, everybody, I guess, here tonight is going to be receiving an award. Congratulations. Way to go. Nice job. Fame is fleeting. It's like a cloud. You know, you got to keep working at it. Make each day your masterpiece. Carpe diem. Make each day your masterpiece. Wake up, by golly, put a smile on your face, and you really haven't had a great day unless you've made somebody else smile, that you've done something for somebody else without expecting something in return. Put a smile on your face. It helps. When you smile at others, they'll smile back. Make each day your masterpiece. Happiness begins where selfishness ends. And that goes back to that thinking beyond yourself. It's so easy to be self-consumed. What's important to me? What am I getting out of this? If you can think beyond yourself, happiness begins there. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. Congratulations to all of you recipients and continued success in all of your endeavors. Do your very best, regardless. Success is the self-satisfaction of knowing you've done your very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Ron Smith. And on behalf of the High School Sports Report, we'd like to present you with a pin set.
All right.
And this pin will only sign South Carolina players. This pin only signs players from our state.
All right.
Okay.
I love South Carolina.
Use that pin, okay, for South Carolina. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.